The next property I want to look at is the index property. By default, I don't have any indexes. Well, that's actually not true. I have one index, and that's employee ID. When I click on employee ID, because I made that an auto number, if I look at my field properties, I can see that index has been set to yes. But it allows duplicates, and really no employee should have the same number as any other employee. So I'm going to change the index property to yes, but no duplicates, so that each employee has a unique ID. Now the idea of the index property is that you identify those fields in your table that you would do the most searching by, and it's those fields that you would index, because then that speeds up how quickly it is to search and to sort a particular table. So besides the employee ID, I'd also do a lot of searching for an employee by last name. So I'm going to click on last name. If I then go down to the index property, I can see that it hasn't been indexed because indexed is set to no. I want to change that to yes, but I have to make a decision about whether duplicates are okay or no duplicates. Now when it comes to last name, we have a lot of people with the same last name, so I have to allow duplicates okay, or I won't be able to enter two people with the same last name. So yes, I want to index it so it's faster search by last name, but yes, duplicates are okay, so I'll do that. So the idea is you would look at your fields and you would decide which fields they would search by the most, and those are the ones you would index, and you'd simply make a decision about whether duplicates were okay or not in that particular field. If I want to check which fields have been indexed in this table, up in my ribbon I actually have a button called Indexes, and if I click that button I can see two fields have been indexed, the employee ID, and every entry is unique, and last name, but duplicates are okay, so unique is set to no. Also when I click on employee ID, I can see that primary is set to no, which I'll explain shortly. So the idea is go through and decide which fields you search by the most and index those. Now don't index all fields because you'll actually end up slowing the table down. Every time a record has to be deleted, edited, changed or added, the index has to be updated. And if you've indexed every field, then you can actually end up countering the speed and actually slowing the table down. So just those ones you'd search by the most. Now the next thing I need to consider, and the final thing I need to consider, is the primary key. When we've saved this table for the first time, we were told that no primary key had been defined, and I told you just to hit no and ignore that for the moment. Now we're going to tackle the primary key. The primary key field is the selected field that uniquely identifies each record. So I'm going to click on employee ID. Employee ID is the field that is unique, that uniquely identifies each employee, so this is the primary key field. And so to make that a primary key, I simply, in my ribbon, click the primary key field. Now when I do so, I acquire a little key in front of employee ID, and this is now the primary key field. If I click that button again, the key disappears, and if I click it again, it reappears. So I guess that the protocol is whenever you create a table, always make the first field an ID field. And typically we usually make it an auto number, and always make it a primary key field, and that's the field that uniquely identifies each employee. So this table now is complete. I'm going to click the Save button on my Quick Access toolbar and save this table. And I'll close this table just by hitting the Close button, and I've created one table in my database completely from scratch and completely customized to hold employee information. If I double click it, I can view the table, everything's in place, and I can close it just by clicking the Close TBL Employee button.